signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, good morning once more, and we are back with our activated mornings on WEFM with Roleza and Dianna. And at this time, we are having our COP chat, and with us, we have two officers from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police.
Not quite, but go ahead.
Okay. Oh, my bad. We have an officer of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force who is joining us via the live. That is Mr. Sean Roach, who is attached to the Criminal Records Office. And we have in studio with us Mr. Kenuel Thompson, who is in the Information and Technology Services Division. So, gentlemen, good morning to you.
Can you look like an officer, not true?
Yeah, he does.
You look very police-ish. All right. Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? How are both of you doing?
I'm
All
fine.
is well?
I'm fine, thank you. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad.
Okay.
And Sean?
Busy as usual.
Yeah.
Busy morning.
All right. Well, we're happy that you're going to spend the next hour with us.
Yes.
All right. Even less than an hour.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So our topic this morning that we will be discussing is digital vigilance, the role of surveillance in crime prevention. Let me repeat, digital vigilance, the role of surveillance in crime prevention. So the first thing I would like us to get into as we begin, what is surveillance? And I would like Officer Roach to begin. Give us your definition when the police say they're doing surveillance, just to give us the definition. What does that mean?
So surveillance is literally monitoring something or monitoring people. So when we speak about monitoring people, it doesn't only refer to the use of cameras. It could be in the variety of forms such as phone calls, emails, even your passport could be considered a form of surveillance. So basically, it is about monitoring behavior at the end of the day, collecting data.
Okay. So what is the role of ITSD in this?
The role of ITSD, we are basically maintain the CCTV system and repairs. That's our major role.
Okay. So since you've introduced CCTV, what is that?
CCTV stands for closed circuit television. So it's basically where data is recorded and stored for a particular use length of time.
Okay, so you've been technical. Break it down for me. Yeah, it's recording. What exactly is it? What device is it?
Mostly video cameras. So yeah, you record the data and it's stored in the control center. If it's not needed after a particular length of time, then it's discarded.
And what is the length of time?
Well, it depends. At present, 3 months.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, then. So we're going to go straight into the topic now. So we just got the explanation of the CCTV, and I will ask Officer Roach, how does the CCTV help in crime, in fighting crime? Or how is the CCTV used in fighting crime?
Okay, so from my background knowledge of CCTV, it could be used to deter people from using certain behavior because when you know you're observed, you tend to change your behavior. And another way is that it helps to collect data and it could be used to predict what is going to be happening. So presently, from my observations here, it has been used to track back if something has been done and to see, I don't want to say profile, but to eliminate people who are likely not to commit those offenses within that area. So at the end of the day, it goes in it complements when we say eyewitness testimony. So instead of simply relying on human vision, you have something that is more credible to say this person was inside this area, but it also depends on certain things like the resolution of the camera and the like. So it helps in elimination to help in the um, solving of certain offenses.
Okay, and since the introduction of these listen, CCTV cameras, has this actually strengthened our security measures here in, well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so from police standpoint,
Okay.
has the increase of cameras actually helped to strengthen our security, our national security?
From my standpoint of being here for at least three going into like 3 months or so, I would say yes, it has strengthened it because I, for one, feel safer walking through the streets knowing that there are cameras to say, okay, if something is committed, I'm not the only person here. It could be tracked back. So from that standpoint, it could be a deterrent from persons doing certain things. And it also, when it comes to policing, it reduces the amount of manpower that is needed inside the area. Because as although people like to may speak about the response time of police, police cannot be everywhere at this we're not quote unquote omnipresent. So the technology needs to facilitate humans in order to enhance or augment their abilities in some way. So if there isn't the human resource in order to do something, it needs to be complemented by some other form, whether it be a system or technology. And this doesn't function on its own because when we think about this, it needs a complement, a binding of three areas, which would be people, the technology, and analysts to analyze these systems. Because the technology cannot stand by itself. You need someone to also break down what is happening beyond simply saying that um, five offenses were committed within this. Five offenses were committed. Simply saying that without any deeper analysis into it is just stating facts, but it doesn't give information.
Okay. So from your vantage point, would you be able to answer this as well? In terms of the introduction, has your department found or been given an increased responsibility since the introduction? On a wider scale, that is, though.
Yes, yes. It's two things. Since the implementation, there has been an increase as well, increase in solving crimes easier, I would say. You know, the police depend on the footage a lot. They often would require assistance. So, yeah,
Okay.
it does help.
Okay.
All right. I have a curious question. What now? I don't know the technical terms yet, as it relates to camera and camera footage. Eva, I would like to know what's the quality of our CCTV cameras?
Quality. We have 8 megapixel cameras. We also have 4 megapixel cameras.
You had to break that down. That's like really high quality.
Yes.
It's either high, medium, or low.
So it's not just the megapixels. It also has to do with the software.
Mhm.
So now there are even cameras with AI, which helps to produce a cleaner, crisper image. In the second phase, which is coming up very soon, we're going to have PTZ cameras, which would be 4K, which is pretty decent resolution. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, I know, Sean, you studied something, your degree was in relation to AI. How has the introduction of, AI-related cameras, I don't even know how to ask this question because it might also be leaded asking for too much information. But in terms of the introduction of AI with the CCTV cameras, how does this further strengthen our surveillance efforts here in the country?
Well, first of all, when AI is usually my background, what I studied is that I have a bachelor's of engineering in artificial intelligence technology. So that implies that I am a intelligence systems and automation engineer. So with that said, when people usually speak about AI, it's very broad, but we must understand so that we set the foundation that AI could be set into two big categories. So I'm not just jumping into the question. I'm going to set the foundation so that when somebody speak about this topic, they really understand. So one is known as it's more specific AI, and the other one is general AI. The technology that we presently use is more specific AI, which deals with probably, as Thomas mentioned, increasing the resolution of a camera. That could be done. Another task could be identifying object detection to say what if it's a person, a car, or even to extract a license plate number, which goes into OCD, optical character detection. So when it comes to the use of artificial intelligence inside the police force, I am not inside the department that is dealing with the monitoring of the cameras, and it's still in its preliminary stages. So I cannot directly comment on how it's being done. But from what I am seeing so far, it has the capacity to do great things.
Okay. So the reason, so what it is, I was sort of hinting at in a way. Of course, we look at TV a lot, and
Yeah.
we notice that there in major cities, in bigger cities, that there's already that facial recognition that's happening, right? So somebody could walk by and they automatically detect who an individual is. This is where it is. I'm not sure if to ask the question, but if not, it's fine if you don't answer. But are we looking to get to that level in terms of using the technology to be able to aid in security measures, right? Both in a sense of it being preventative as well as for the purposes of bringing matters before the court?
Well, it needs to be done in a series of stages for one. But in terms of the long-term projection, I am not inside the department or making that decisions. But what I could say to you is that it would be ideal for us to move inside that trend. Because consider this, if you have a photo album and you want to find a photo from, for example, a birthday 10 years ago, how long would it take you to cipher through those pages unless you have them cataloged to say, okay, I want to go to this page. So it eliminates the time factor. And when you speak about investment, investment is not only manpower, but also time. And not only money, but time is a critical factor because people could only live for a certain period of time. And when you take that into consideration, you need to utilize time effectively. You can't be wasting people and not utilizing time and resources because time is something you cannot give somebody back.
Okay. All right. Another question came to my head a while ago. Gosh, it went straight out. That's why I need to write down things.
Okay. So as we will come back to you. Is it possible for there to be misuse of this technology for the purpose that it is intended for? And if so, what measures are there in place to protect the information, or to ensure that such a thing does not happen?
That was the question that was in my head.
So
Confidentiality and privacy.
can we start with you, Thompson? Or we take it to Roach?
Yes.
How would we know that it's not going to be abused? Because we live in a small society, right? And let's say if you're tracking, a police officer wants to track somebody. How do we know that this information isn't? And I'm talking in a personal capacity, not even in policing regards. How would we know that that this information would remain or only be used for to aid in investigative purposes? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Is there any assurance from us as the general public that only
So
information that is being recorded is going to be used for the purposes intended, as opposed
what
to a violation on personal grounds?
what I would say is that in technology, you usually find that there's a stage or experimental stage on a smaller group. So, from my observations of the society, the laws are not equipped to properly deal with artificial intelligence technology. There's an area that's lacking. And when it comes to data privacy, there are areas inside the cyber acts, for example, protecting children and stuff, and so especially like in images that cannot be circulated or shared. That is areas that could lay into protecting people's privacy in terms of their body. But in terms of like verbal information and words and stuff and so that could be shared and outside the realm of like body parts, um, it doesn't really touch on that. So with that said, although there may be a period where we would say that you may feel that your rights are being infringed on, it also gives the opportunity to push back to say, okay, we notice these things and we do not want these within our state. And my recommendation is that the laws can later be adjusted.
Okay.
So instead of simply jumping the gun and saying that, oh, I'm afraid of data protection, of my data being used for something I don't want it to. Yes, there'll be times that it may go outside of that line, but then it's for you as a person to state or go through the proper process to push back.
Okay, and out of curiosity, has well, I'm not sure if you would be privy to this information, but has there been any public pushback in a sense from persons stating that they are not happy with being under surveillance in a sense? Because we know that sometimes in some of the bigger cities, there are persons who are not happy with it, right? They're not happy with their every movement being detected, that monitoring is happening. But have you guys heard anything in terms of public stating that they're not happy with this? Because not everybody likes to have eyes on them. No?
To my knowledge, no. But as I alluded to earlier, surveillance is not only about cameras, it could be a wide variety of systems. Even your ID card could be considered a form of surveillance or your passport, because when you travel, it's stamped and they could track back to see your behavior. How did you travel? So surveillance is not only CCTV. It could even be the extracting of your calls. Surveillance is very wide.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
speaking on that, and so we have been focusing a lot on the CCTV system, but the topic is actually digital vigilance. So, what other methods of digital vigilance are there that's being implemented by the police force?
Police force in St. Vincent?
Yes.
Wait. Well, I do not work in the IT department, but one of the ways that I am aware of, other than the CCTV, is probably if you scroll through Facebook and you do a snapshot or extract certain data, like video camera footage, like taking a picture of it from using a digital camera, or even it's just really documentation at the end of the day. From a visual point of view, how you document it to see what was done.
Okay.
Yeah. But in terms of how it could be used, uh it's it's just, as far as I could see, the no, let me not. It goes to just looking at what something is, but not really applying uh a more advanced state to it. So it's still, from my observation, in its early stages.
Okay, so and what from your training have you seen that's being used elsewhere? So we focus on what is here in SVG, but from elsewhere in terms of digital vigilance, in terms of crime prevention and prosecution of matters, etc. What else have you seen being used in other territories, or even what it is that you've learned from
Okay.
training?
So what I've observed, I think it was about 10 years ago, there was a pilot project that explored using a combination of satellite images and CCTV in order to track the location of if a crime is being committed, like a robbery. So an example of a study was that it was probably a middle-aged lady and her friend was on the road, typical situation, and then her necklace was pulled from her. But on a regular standpoint, this kind of crime, according to the investigator, would not be solved because of the way it occurred, whereby the person exited the vehicle from one block, walked down, snatched the necklace, and drove around to the other block, and then exited in the same vehicle. So, with that said, when we look at technology as a combination of things, and it does not only need to be CCTV, it could be CCTV complemented with other technologies, analysts, and people, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And it could even go further, whereby you could, for example, during the COVID-19 period, you had the thermal sensors. There's also a form of surveillance, whereby you measure somebody's body temperature to make an estimation if they are likely to have a fever or even COVID-19, which could only be proved after testing. So with that said, surveillance technology also helped the public by restricting certain things. You may even go into say it's a kind of profiling, but at the end of the day, it is in order to keep society safe.
Okay. All right. So, with that, I would like us to take an ad break and we will be right back shortly with the continuation of the segment. Remember, when we come back, if you have questions, if you have comments, you can call to be a part of the program. You can call us 457-9997, and that will be after we take this break.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom? Whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seat. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean. be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry.
We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Love it, embrace it.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are you ready? On Saturday, November 9th, Third Element and Nouvelle Lay presents Rise Reggae SVG. Live on stage, the gentleman himself, Romain Vogo.
The soul provider.
Romain Vogo. From the royal family of reggae, Gramps Morgan.
You deserve the love of a woman like you.
Gramps Morgan.
For people like you.
And the great one, Jamil. Jamil.
Lose them soul figure in the world. When I switch for the table turn.
Rise Reggae SVG, the concert of the century. On Saturday, November 9th, Victoria Park. Gates open at 8 p.m. Tickets are available island-wide or online at ticketpal.com.
It's that special time of the year again. Paramedics now has all your needs for the season. We have the best in window and kitchen curtains, king, queen, and full-size in comforters and bed sheets, bathroom mattresses, bathroom towels, kitchen appliances, microwaves, ninja blenders, juicers, and toasters. Check also for your laundry detergent and fabric softeners, Victoria's Secret and Bath & Beyond creams and splashes. We carry pots, frying pans, dinner plates, teacups, and so much more. Shop early at Paramedics this Christmas to avoid the rush. The management and staff thank you for your support throughout 2024 and wish you a bright and prosperous 2025. Call us at 451-2763 or WhatsApp us at 531-9119.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
And signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes. Erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
We are back with our Cup Chat right here on the Clean Fresh Sound of 99.9 WEFM. This morning, we are speaking on the topic digital vigilance, the role of surveillance in crime prevention. And with us in studio, We have Mr. Kenuel Thompson, who is with the Information Technology Services Division, and Officer Sean Roach, in the Criminal Records Office of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, joining us live. So we are heading right back into our discussion. Remember, if you have questions, you can call us 457-9997. You can call us direct, or you can call us on WhatsApp. So going right back into our topic, and the first question I have for you, Mr. Thompson, has there been any vandalism of the cameras?
Yes, there have been a couple
Mhm.
that I can recall, mostly in the Pals lot area.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh. Sorry. Okay.
No.
All right, I just find it interesting because the fact that, I mean, when you're going about your business, you're going about your business. I don't stop to look up to see where cameras are, you know. So I think this is interesting. All right, but okay. So what message would you have for persons with regards to the vandalism?
Well, pretty simple. Don't.
All right, and don't, because it's there for everyone's protection.
Yeah, it's there for our protection. It's not there to infringe on anyone's privacy or anything like that.
Okay, and in terms of your department with maintenance, because if I'm remembering correctly, that the unit is based at Kittels Police Station, right?
Right.
In terms of your department's role with maintenance and ensuring that the cameras are up and running, etc., how often is maintenance done?
Well, we do weekly server room checks. We go to the server room and inspect, make sure all the equipments are in optimal conditions. We also have scheduled cleaning of the cameras, so that is done every 6 weeks or so. And also we do software upgrades, where we basically install the newest firmware available for whatever version of camera that we have.
Okay, so you lend tremendous support to the police department in this regard.
Yes.
Okay. As well, so I in the first part of the discussion, you mentioned about what's to come. I think you mentioned third phase, but when was this? When were CCTV cameras actually installed here in SVG?
That would be since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, though, every time we're doing maintenance, that persons would look and they would be like, "Oh, so cameras, I mean, they're working now, like they've been there for a while." So that's always interesting. Yeah.
Okay. And something I'd ask you this question off because all right. And in terms of the range or the span of the camera installations here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, can you speak to that in terms of where exactly?
So at present, we have cameras ranging from Layou to Georgetown. So that's on the outskirts. But in phase 2, that's already on the way. We'll have installations on the inlets and also in the Grenadines. We'll also be introducing PTZ cameras and
introducing what?
PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. So basically cameras that
they're going to rotate. Oh man! All right.
Give you that 360. Yeah, and also we'll be having LPR cameras, which are license plate recognition cameras. So their goal is just focusing on license plates.
Or that license plate one. Oh Lord. Okay. Okay. All right.
And I'm hoping, what I would want is that there would be a third phase, and that way we can introduce AI.
Facial recognition?
Not just facial recognition, but crowd detection, behavioral analysis, things like that.
Okay. All right, Sean, you want to expand on those last two that that Kenyal spoke about? Because this sounds like it's up your alley.
Okay. So crowd analysis and behavior recognition. So you could train a computer system to, or sentiment analysis is what's called. You could train a camera to detect the sentiments on somebody's face. So the theory of it is that people have micro expressions, and a computer is able to detect that using biometrics. So it could make a determination of what somebody is, um, what emotion they're showing based on those measurements on their face. And for crowd analysis, it could count the amount of people who is it in an area based on the amount of contrast they see within a space. So it would give a good estimate of, for example, if carnival is there, instead of if you have somebody counting or going around counting and say, oh, this is the amount of people that are there, one shot with the camera, boom, this is how many people, our estimate of how many people is in the area. So it shrinks down time, the time factor.
All right. So I'm curious about something. So the cameras that we currently have and the system that we currently have, does it detect, let's say, abnormal behavior in a sense where, because at this point in time, okay, it's surveillance, right? You have the cameras up, etc. But let's say there is a crowd. You notice that persons have gathered at a particular spot. Do the cameras actually alert the officers monitoring it to say, okay, well, this might be something of interest to look into? Has that happened as yet?
No, not that. Not,
So
not
that's the
yet.
third phase.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So we've heard of the police's role in all of this. We've heard of Samson's department and the things that they do. Officer Roach, this question is directed to you or directed at you. I would like you to tell us about the public's role in all of this. What is our role? How important is our role in this digital vigilance, in the digital surveillance, and all of that?
Okay, so I'm aware that persons are allowed to bring in CCTV cameras at a discounted rate. When it comes to, I think it's the tax that they pay at the port. So I would recommend that they also invest inside CCTV because the cameras may not be able to reach everywhere. And it's also on your, it's also would be your responsibility as well to secure your place in whatever way possible. So probably invested in this technology for yourself. And also, if you notice there's an area that may not be covered by the system, also make an effort to report what you see. Because as I mentioned earlier, technology doesn't stand on its own. It needs a combination of people, the technology, and analysts. So when these combine together, you have a stronger system. So it's a complementary role. Don't only rely on the technology because sometimes there's a degree of error depending on how the system is trained.
Okay. You want to do something, Kenyo?
I yes. One role I think the public can play is in educating each other. So if you know the benefits, of CCTV and the limitations, it would be wise to, spread that throughout your network, so that way people understand and they're not, afraid of the system. So that would be very helpful.
Okay. What about cases of persons being proactive in a sense? Okay, so let's say something happened in Clear Valley, close to me. I have cameras. Should I wait for the police to come around to ask me for if I have any information, if I have footage, or should I be proactive in terms of volunteering that information? What in terms of bridging that gap between the solving of crimes between the civilians and police? what is your recommendations there?
I recommend that you be proactive because simply being passive in situations like this would not be the best effort. Because although there's investigation stage, if you come forward, it reduces that time gap. So reaching out to the police and informing them that you have this footage, or even coming into the central police station and giving the detail probably on an SD card or even providing a link to that content, that snippet where the event occurred would be very useful. So don't sit on that type of information. It could be done with discretion.
Okay. Well, I like that discretion part. Yes. All right.
All right. No, I think that's it from me. Just to let the listeners know, just where we are approaching the end of the interview. So if you do have any questions or comments, you'll have to call us really quickly, 457-9997 if you have any, because we will be ending shortly.
All right.
I had a question, but like you really is.
You went what you had?
Yes.
So from your vantage point, Kenuel, what other methods or what other things do you think from a domestic standpoint we can put in place for our own personal safety?
Neighborhood watch. That's a pretty good place to start because
and that's physical.
Yes, because we can't always rely on technology. When we combine both, it's even more effective.
Okay. All right. And Roach, anything you want to add to this, Sean?
I would say the present technology that we have could be complemented and even enhanced. So things like the CCTV system, other things could be attached onto them. For example, a potential project is also attaching microphones onto it that measures the decibels inside the area to help eliminate the issue that we have with noise and loud music. So you may find that vehicles driving, and when they reach a police station or approach a police officer in uniform, they lower the music. But if you have a camera that is equipped with a microphone that measures the decibels of something, and the laws also complement to say what decibel is allowed to be played, which is under 60 decibels for something not being loud. That could be sent to court and somebody could get a conviction for that.
Right. And not even
just presence.
Well,
so it could be complemented.
Yeah, I wasn't even just thinking about van drivers. You know, your village DJs who just blast music whenever, and you call police, and then by the time police gone, they turn it back up. Also very effective.
Precisely, but even to stretch into that a bit more, I know we're going to the time, but for a safety concern that you want concern about what police would be listening to what you say, the system could be designed that it only detects the noise level, not necessarily detecting the conversation. So if you're concerned about safety, that's something that can be done.
Okay. Well, that's good to know as well. I didn't even think about that, but that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything that you would like to leave with us, Officer Roach, as it relates to the Cybercrime Act?
It relates to the Cybercrime Act. There was a notice that was recently posted that postmen should be very cautious about sharing images online, especially nudity. And if you receive images of children, do not share it, especially if it's nude or anything like that, because you can also be charged for an offense. So when it comes to the Cybercrime Act, you need to be careful of what you say and what you share and what you post, or even what you watch, because that could also come into a factor.
Yeah, your computer tracks the things that you look at, or your devices track the things that you look at and view.
Of course, you can always look back and see.
Okay.
So, as we have come to the end of the interview, I would like to ask both of you, Officer Roach and Mr. Thompson, to just leave the listeners with one final thing of all the things that we've said. The one thing that you think you should, is most fitting to leave them with. That's what I would like you to do at this time.
As I would have said before, the surveillance system, it's not there to maco anybody, as we would say. It's there for public safety. So if you see something that looks off or odd, yes, you report it. Say something.
Okay. And Sean?
Collaboration is key inside of technology and investment. Not only investment is money is important, but also investment in time where you're allocating resources. So with that said, for the public and anyone in this range of my voice, need to understand that this is a collaboration. It's not just something that can be pushed on its own.
Okay.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Officer Roach and Mr. Thompson. We hope that it was an interesting conversation here this morning. We really hope that persons would take into consideration all that was said. And with that, we have come to the end of our COP chat this morning. We were speaking with Officer Sean Roach and Mr. Kenuel Thompson, and we were speaking on digital vigilance, the role of surveillance in crime prevention.
Wait, before we go, we have
Okay.
All right, so somebody has a comment about sharing images of dead persons. But I don't even know. Is there anything against that? Sean, I'm not sure if you know of anything. No? Okay.
I'm not aware of anything, but for public safety, you should not share that because you're desensitizing people and you're also not respecting the dead. How would you feel if you died and then somebody took your image and posted online? I don't think you'd be happy. You might be turning in your grave. So don't do it.
All right.
Okay, then. And with that, we are heading out. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, Officer Roach. And Mr. Thompson, thank you for taking time to be with us here today. And with that, listeners, we are out.